This is my town, my world, George, and nobody's gonna take it away from me.
We are a nation of immigrants. For many of us, our parents or our grandparents came here from other countries to make a better life for ourselves through hard work. The 1983 film Scarface, which is now old enough to be vintage, tells the dark side of the struggle to achieve the American dream, as Cuban refugee Tony Montana builds an empire by working his way through the dangerous, violent, and corrupt world of drug dealing. But what would happen if that movie got a sequel? This is Scarface, The World Is Yours, for the Wii. Hopefully if you're choosing to watch this review, you've already seen the film, so you know how it ends. This game starts right at the final battle scene of the movie, but changes the outcome to have Tony fight his way through all the home invaders and escape. But even though he survives in order for this story to happen, he quickly realizes that his empire has fallen. Vice cops took his mansion, and rival drug kingpins took over all of Miami. Playing as the main character himself, you've got to use what few dollars, friends, and resources you have to get revenge on your enemies. In doing so, take what they have to build a new empire that's bigger and better than before, and when you're ready, take on Alejandro Sosa, the drug lord who ordered your assassination and distributed what was yours among 4 drug lords in Miami. Despite this essentially being fanfiction when you think about it, it's actually a well-written story that feels like a good continuation of the hit crime drama. It gives more screen time to characters who were developed to be important in the movie, but they were ultimately pushed to being off-screen characters. It's also a chance for people who like the movie to help this fan-favorite character reclaim most of what he lost, plus some new riches. Of course, if you remember some of the heavier moments, even Tony Montana in a video game can't get back everything he lost, but he sure as hell can get everything else. The World Is Yours came to the Wii in the summer of 2007, but it was launched on 6th-gen consoles, minus the GameCube, the year prior. Now, of course, the Wii was not an HD system like its 7th-gen competitors, and that might be the default explanation for the game's visuals, but it's really that it's a late 6th-gen game that has a very 6th-gen look. In fairness, the developers did a good job rendering Al Pacino's likeness from the movie, as well as how they captured the look of familiar movie locations, namely the Babylon Club. But there are a lot of characters and environment textures in the game that have a very blocky PS2 look. And it doesn't help that all the characters have animation quality that looks very dated, even when I first played this game 15 years ago. But considering this is an open world game from the mid-2000s, it does do well at immersing you in the world of 1980s Miami according to Scarface. Part of that immersion comes from the sound. There are a lot of hard-hitting combat sound effects that GTA devs would be proud of. And the game is packed to the brim with 80s music well beyond the tracks that were in the film. You can even access the music menu to play an 80s song you like while driving around, walking, or killing dudes.
Excellent.
There's also a lot of great voice acting by a large cast of character voice actors. Al Pacino himself would have voiced Tony, but he and the game's producers all felt that his voice sounded too old to fit the character by the time they started making this game in the 2000s, which I discovered was also the reason he didn't lend his voice to Michael Corleone in the Godfather video game that came out around the same time. I guess he didn't want a situation of Sean Connery in the From Russia With Love video game. To make up for this though, Pacino was allowed to handpick a voice actor to take his place, and based on the performance throughout the game by voice actor Andres Sogliuzzo, Pacino made a wise choice. The game's voice actor brilliantly captures not only the similar sound of Tony's voice, but also his attitude and mannerisms to bring Scarface into the 21st century.
You know how this is gonna work from here on out, don't you?
Fuck you. Mayor Bernstein tried this shit on me once, and it didn't work out so good for him, you know.
The main idea of this game is to build up your empire by doing favors for dealers for cash and drugs, killing off rival gangs, and helping shop owners so you can then buy the businesses for fronts. You can sell drugs to dealers on the street, but fronts give you more money than individual dealers. But unlike GTA clones with the concept of front businesses, you don't just collect money from each front automatically every hour or so. You have to do a lot of things on your own in this game, including distributing large keys of coke to the businesses and collecting large sums of cash from them, all while rival gangs try to run you off the road. It is kind of irritating to have to take all these extra steps to make money, but on the other hand, it does give you more to do in the game. Things that are part of increasing your bank account and your reputation. Even spending money increases your reputation. From the pause menu, you can buy a huge collection of stuff. Plenty of it is just to show off, but some of it helps you in gameplay like faster boats, stronger cars, and different types of henchmen. There's plenty of fun and combat to be found here. Like most games from the first half of the Wii era, you aim the camera and your gun using the Wii Remote's pointer, which is still one of the most accurate methods of aiming in shooting games. I like that they added this feature that tells you exactly where you landed a hit on a target. Sometimes it's strategic to know how close or far you are from a kill shot, but other times it's just plain hilarious when it tells you exactly which ball you shot the dude in. This game definitely earns its M rating. Speaking of balls, during combat you're filling up your balls meter by landing hits, taunting slain enemies, and pulling off close calls while driving. When your balls meter, I can't believe I'm saying that, is full, you shake the nunchuck to go into a super-powered first-person shooter mode where you're temporarily invincible. During this blind rage, bullets do 10 times more damage for faster kills, and you recover health with each foe you kill. So it's actually part of strategy to fight safely while building up enough balls to then trigger your invincible rage and use it to cut down enemies and recover health you lost. Combat is pretty hard otherwise because all of these enemies are very aggressive, and in longer shootout sequences like this one, med packs are few and far in between. What's interesting and unusual for a GTA clone is that Tony won't shoot civilians no matter how hard you try. A conscious choice the developers made to make this game more accurate to Tony's movie character. This may feel restrictive to some of you, but it doesn't stop you from running people over.
Move, bitch, get out the way, get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
Well, okay, I guess having to outrun the cops is a good deterrent. You can also punch and use a chainsaw with motion controls, but it's not as accurate as Godfather, so it's more waggly. Oddly enough, the more nerve-wracking mechanic is negotiating with NPCs to buy/sell drugs or launder money to banks by timing when to let go of the A button. It's a fitting mechanic for a video game rather than have you pick out the best sentences multiple times, but this can be embarrassingly hard sometimes. But all this is done in a very well-designed large open world, with a fleshed out 80s Miami and an island chain off the coast of Miami, which leads to a lot of places to explore, side missions to complete, and a variety of combat settings, from on-foot shootouts to car chases with guns and boat battles at sea. Now, part of securing your turf is executing rival gangs throughout a neighborhood, but the gangs only appear at certain times of day, so you have to fight them during those times. Otherwise, they hold control over those spots in the meantime, which feels like it drags things out needlessly. Also, the GPS is hard to follow, even with the glowing red beacon in the world marking the spot on the map you highlighted. The problem is the game doesn't give you a route on your minimap even when you highlight a spot like most similar open world games. It gets easier as you memorize the layout of a neighborhood, but an actual GPS with a route system still would have made things a lot better than what the game does have. Used copies of this game go for a pretty wide range of prices ranging from $15 to $80. Considering how much is in this game and weighing its pros and cons, a good price is $40 or less. If you're not a fan of the Scarface movie, this game won't change your mind. But if you are a fan, it's worth getting assuming you find it for a fair price. Well, that's my review of Scarface: The World Is Yours for the Wii. To help me produce more videos like this, please support my Patreon page. Special thanks to my current patrons here. Remember that supporting my Patreon gives the name of the credits and access to my main videos a day early. Also be sure to watch my previous reviews of these other open world games, The Godfather Black Hand Edition for the Wii, and Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy Definitive Edition for the Switch. See you all next time!